Hello once again, Aries. It's June 2017. Didichi here from astrology.com.au with your monthly general forecast as to what's likely to happen. And the interesting point this month is the ensuing conjunction of Venus and Uranus over the next few days. You're probably already starting to feel the influence of this rather wild combination which is taking place in your sun sign. We see, for example, that on the 3rd, straight up as the month starts, there's an exact conjunction of Venus, the planet which in your case rules your finances, but more importantly your love life, your marriage, your most intimate relationships. And that planet Uranus is rather electric, to say the least, but it's also very, very unpredictable. So this could relate either to yourself being less than conservative in the way you want to approach your relationships now, or referencing the partner or spouse, or even business relationship that you happen to be in, especially in this first week of the month. It won't be as strong after the 3rd, but there will still be some influence of this Venus-Uranus combination in the sign of Aries. I also say business partnerships because we see right now the planet Venus ruling your finances, simultaneously ruling your relationships. It could have a reference to business partnerships. You've also got a couple of other aspects there. One of them is a little bit difficult. That's Mercury transiting in your 2nd house, having some challenge there from the North Node and recently the Moon. Pardon me. So you're thinking about money's challenged considerably. You've got the will and desire to make things happen in that area of your life. That's evidenced by the really nice aspect from Pluto in your 10th house of career. So you do have that opportunity to make money, but on top of that you've got the retrograde Jupiter in your 7th house of partnerships. So this does lean quite a bit to the way you're dealing with financial matters with your partners, either marital, romantic, or business partnerships. And that's something that should be rather prominent in the first week or so of the month. The other interesting aspect that's taking place for you is the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. This one's pretty significant because in the sign of Sagittarius, well, it's significant for everyone, but in your sense, it has to do with the 9th house of expanding your horizons, broadening your base of knowledge. And this is not your normal sort of knowledge. This has to do with the higher knowledge, educational pursuits, spiritual and divine knowledge. And the fact that the reason for you that it's important is because you've got Sun and Mars in your 3rd house of the mind and communications, short journeys. Moving into the opposition, Mars has just been opposed, or has rather opposed Saturn in the 9th house, and you're going to have this full moon there on the 9th. So there's a lot of stuff going on this, what we call the 3-9 axis, having to do with your mind, travels. The Saturn-Mars opposition is very, very frustrating. We see there that it can create some real obstructions to you in these areas of your life. So scheduling journeys, study, meetings for philosophical, political, or even legal issues will all come under the jurisdiction of this combination and can present some delays, if not anger, because this is a very devitalizing aspect. For those of you that have siblings, the 3rd house also relates to siblings and can be a problem in that area. There is a new moon later in the month taking place in your 4th house in the sign of Cancer. So family matters at that time should come into focus. And the new moons, as I've mentioned many times before, relate to an upswing, a shift, an opening, a new chapter, so to speak. And we see that Mars, your ruling planet, let's have a look at that. It does actually move into this fourth house as well on the 5th of June. So from the 5th and then all the way up around to the 24th, we see that there's a lot more drive going into this area of your life, the property, family, mother, and also the area of inner peace that's ruled by the fourth house, which unfortunately is not altogether favoured by your ruler Mars there, because Mars is also, number one, quite uncomfortable in the sign of Cancer, and secondly, directionally, it's in the opposite end of the horoscope, in which it gains what we call directional strength. Then we see the new moon taking place near this Mars. So the moon will actually give that weakened position of your ruler a little more strength, a little more emotion. So the first part of the month after the 5th, I think, is going to be problematic for you in your domestic circumstance. So you need to watch that. Mercury moves out of the finance sector on the 7th of June, just shortly after that, into the third house, into its own sign, so it's strong. This is a time where if you've had these frustrations that I'm talking about, you're likely to have better communications, better negotiations, and even the opportunity for some short trips, not so much longer ones, as shown by the third house, which is your journeys. Also better communications with your siblings, neighbours, people that you're ordinarily talking to on that level may not be so receptive, but now that that planet is moving there, that is a positive sign. There are some issues still. Saturn is going to present a problem for that planet as well, because any opposition to Saturn is a challenge. It can slow things down. It even indicates perhaps some lowered vitality and health issues that you need to look at through the mechanism of the opposition of the Sun to Saturn, which we see on June 15th is perfectly opposing it. So do take some care on your health this month, care with your relationships, which I think are going to be very, very interesting. I'd like to hear back from you on that one. Many of us are going to see some rather radical shifts, but for you, as I said in the beginning of the reading, Venus ruling your relationship area, I think, is going to be more pronounced in that sense. Later in the month, I'm just having a look here at the list of transits for you by date now. There is a lovely aspect around the 26th. Your Mars in a fine aspect to Neptune, bringing with it the opportunity to really idealize and visualize the results that you want in life. It is, again, a spiritual aspiration, but one which shows that your dreams can actually become manifest under the trine aspect. The trine is 120 degrees. We see Mercury also on the 28th forming that same aspect. So that's a double whammy for you, a positive double whammy at the end of the month. Do join me at astrology.com.au. We've got, again, the chronological list of the aspects in more detail, textually. And join me at astrology.com.au if you'd like to maybe consider having a closer look at your horoscope for what's happening, not just this month, but in the longer term. See you next month. Take care. Bye-bye now.